Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I'm here at the News Forum where all voices matter. Let's check in with our regular guest, David Clement, no relation, who is the North American Affairs Manager of the Consumer Choice Center. Welcome back to Boom and Bust.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you were writing and advocating for the winding down of the alcohol bans by provincial governments and liquor agencies. Why is that?
So the bans are hypocritical and costly. So they're hypocritical, one, because we don't do this for anything else, right? There are no other bans on American products. We, generally speaking, trust Canadians to protest with their wallet. And certainly in some instances they have, like travel. Travel is way down. I get it, understandably so. So it's hypocritical because for some reason, for just alcohol, we have these bans, but it doesn't apply to anything else. Sporting goods, food, you name it. It's also hypocritical because there's a really strong argument that it violates the USMCA. And this is the deal that our federal government has been white-knuckling to try and hold on to and salvage. We're going to have to renegotiate. And here we now have provinces actually turning us into a dishonest broker and potentially violating the USMCA, which doesn't particularly help and make us look good.
Right.
And then,
but before you get on to costly, then just walk us through that. First of all, which provinces are doing the alcohol ban?
so it's everywhere except for Saskatchewan and Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, Ontario in itself is the largest buyer of alcohol in the world. So that's really the core of the argument. And it's irritating as a taxpayer to see the costs associated with this because it's twofold. One, there's probably about 100 million in warehouse of U.S. product at the LCBO. So it's not being sold. It's eating up storage space. That is a cost. Quebec just had to donate $300,000 worth of expiring American product to a hospitality school. Very generous of them to donate it, but taxpayers eat that bill,
right?
Because it's provincial liquor boards who buy all alcohol. And then it's also costly in the context of American brands account for a significant portion of the liquor board's revenue, and they've just cut that off entirely. And so the next fiscal statement from the LCBO is likely going to be substantially short in comparison to historical averages or what was forecasted, which ultimately means that the provincial government is short.
But wouldn't consumers just buy another product?
It depends. For some wines, we see that, not for spirits.
Okay.
There are no Canadian bourbons. And the sales data on this actually shows that not only is obviously American, let's say bourbon or whiskey, is down, but spirits is down across the board. People are just not going through the section. Again, that's a significant chunk of the LCBO's revenue.
Right.
And so when all product categories are down, that means that taxpayers are not going to get the revenue they otherwise would expect.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's when you say expensive, it's going to hurt the bottom line of the liquor agencies, therefore the provinces.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. So is there any upside to these bans? Are they sending a legit political message? Is there any efficacy in these bans?
They're sending the message to the wrong people. So California is not responsible for electing Donald Trump. The Pacific Northwest, those are wine regions, not responsible for electing Donald Trump. Now, the counter to that is, but Kentucky bourbon, that's a red state. But where are the Republicans who are most against the trade war? They're in Kentucky. Thomas Massie in Congress, Rand Paul in the Senate. What are those two individuals trying to do? End the presidential authority on tariffs to end the trade war.
Right.
So we're actually hurting the constituents of the Republicans who are on our side. And so there's this narrative that's like, yes, let's stick it to the Americans, but we're sticking it to the wrong people. The Californians and the people in Oregon and Washington State aren't responsible for this. And the elected representatives in Kentucky who we're hitting the hardest are the ones who are advocating for us the most in DC. And so making those gentlemen unelectable or less electable is not good because as Trump has threatened to primary both of them, whom would replace them would be far more in line with Trump's view on trade than Thomas Massie or Rand Paul. So huge disservice politically.
We're going to continue on this theme, David. We've got to take a brief break for our commercial friends. We still have sponsors,
Yes.
unlike what we're talking about here. We'll be back after these messages.